2024 was a huge year for me personally, as well as the electric vehicle industry. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys why it was such a big year. And we're also going to talk about everything coming in 2025 related to Hyundai, Kia, Genesis electric cars. So if you guys want to hear more, then stay tuned. Let's start out with talking about 2024. It has been a crazy year for me personally. There's some things I haven't told you guys that I think I'm going to share in this video. So as many of you know, I moved to Boston over the summer. I'd been living in the same house for almost a decade. I still own the house. I'm renting it out to a friend. So I still own the house. We can always go back if things don't work out in the Boston area long term. But anyway, we moved out of our house, so that was huge. My fiance got a new job. And obviously because we moved, I had to leave my previous job. I worked at Pratt & Whitney in material development for jet engines. It was a great job. I really loved it, but we had to move and I couldn't do it remotely. I had to be on site every day. And I said, you know what? I'm in my mid-30s now. When am I going to have another opportunity to try and do something like this? So I said, screw it. I've got some money to fall back on if it doesn't work out, but I'm going to try and become a full-time content creator. And I don't know if I like calling myself a content creator, but I'm struggling to find a better word for it. I guess just creator in general, maker. Because I have my store, I design accessories, I 3D print them. I guess creator or maker is probably a better word for it. But anyway, yeah, I am a full-time content creator now. I quit my day job. It has been quite the adjustment getting used to working from home, not going into an office and just water cooler talk and just having a lot of friends around you during the day. I'm not telling you this because I want you guys to feel like you have to become channel members or you have to buy my products. Obviously, if you want to help support my business and my channel, that is the best way. I am really trying to steer clear of brand endorsements and reviewing free products that I get. Like, I'm trying to buy all that stuff myself to keep bias out of it. Like, I just bought the A to Z NACS to CCS1 adapter because I don't want any bias there. I paid for it myself, so if it sucks, I'm going to tell you it sucks. But regardless, being a full-time content creator now has unlocked a lot more avenues for me in terms of getting to go out and do stuff. So that's why this year I went to the LA Auto Show. I went to the Ioniq 9 launch event. At the auto show, I got to conduct my first in-person interview with a representative from Hyundai. I hosted my first ever in-person meetup with a bunch of folks from the New England area and some people who came from out of New England, from Utah, from Canada. Just a really great time with you guys. Depending on when this video is posted, I may have already driven down to Apex, North Carolina for the Ioniq Rechargery kind of soft launch event with about 100 other people stress testing their charging stations there. I did that cross-country crazy drive with Kyle Connor from Out of Spec and a whole bunch of other YouTubers. That was something that I wouldn't be able to do if I were still working a day job. So in that regard, I do not miss having the day job. It was just getting to the point where it was just way too much to try and juggle doing that, rushing home when there was breaking news or something to create a video in an hour or two, get that posted, and just keeping up with orders. It was just a real struggle. I am just much more relaxed now. You guys might have remembered I had alopecia last year and my beard was falling out. My beard has completely healed. The alopecia is gone. They told me it was stress-induced. There was a lot going on. My fiance was living out of state. I was doing this and working a full-time job at the same time. So I'm just much happier now that I'm just doing one specific thing. So if you guys do appreciate the work that I do with this channel, buy some accessories, buy a channel membership, buy me a coffee or beer at the link in the description below. It all really goes to helping me grow the business. Obviously, you guys know I added an Ioniq 6 to the fleet this past April, so that has been fun having that in the fleet. I am truly the Ioniq guy now. I have both Ioniqs. With the Ioniq 9 coming out in the next few months, who knows if I'll get that. Probably not. It's just more car than I need, but who knows? All right, so enough about me and my life. Let's talk about the cars and what's coming in 2025. So obviously the big one, Ioniq 5 refresh, the 2025 Ioniq 5. Gonna be hitting dealer lots in probably about a month or so. And as I've talked about before, I do plan on getting rid of my current Ioniq 5 for the refreshed Ioniq 5. I'm going to try and make sure there's about a month of overlap there so I can do a lot of testing to compare things, what has changed since the 2022, which basically is the same as the 2024 in a lot of regards. So we'll be able to compare and contrast the two cars, see what's better. But I am super pumped about that car. It's going to sell really well. They've fixed so many issues that I complain about with my 2022. So super excited about that. And that's coming really quick, especially with the holidays coming. Things are just going to fly by. We are also expecting a refreshed Hyundai Ioniq 6 to come out. It'll probably be towards the end of the year, probably around September. We'll find out more details. But that car is also getting a refresh. It looks like it's going to look more like the current Hyundai Sonata, where it has the split headlights based on the spy photos we've seen. Looks like they might be getting rid of that kind of controversial double spoiler in the back of the car. I like it, but a lot of people don't. So they were really trying to make this car a little bit more appealing. A lot of people think it's just a really ugly car, but most of that is done in the name of efficiency. I hope they don't give up efficiency just for styling, because the efficiency of that car is just insane. It's going to get the bigger battery pack. It's going to get the NACS charge port. With an 84 kilowatt hour battery pack, the Ioniq 6 refresh might come close to 400 miles of range in mixed driving. That could be really impressive, at least on the SE rear wheel drive, which is the spec that I have. The higher spec cars with the larger tires and wheels will obviously have less range. So also coming from Hyundai next year, as I've already covered, is the Ioniq 9 all-electric 3-row SUV from the brand. It's their first really big electric SUV. I already put out a video about it. You can check out the link above if you want to see that video. They say the first half of next year, so could be coming in the next 6 months. It will be built at the new Georgia Meta plant, so it will be built here in the United States. So let's talk about Hyundai's luxury division, Genesis, next. So there's going to be a refreshed Genesis GV60 coming out, kind of in tandem with the new Ioniq 5. Now, this has not been revealed yet, although there have been some shots of it that probably shouldn't have been released, but maybe they meant to release them in some press video. But it's going to be a mid-cycle refresh. They're going to refresh the front and rear fascias, new technology. It's going to get the bigger battery pack, 84 kilowatt hours. Likely going to have the North American Charging Standard or J3400 port. And hopefully it can help sell more of them, because it's really not a volume seller. Genesis in general just isn't super high volume because they are a luxury brand. But they have a lot of room for growth, and I really hope to see it because these cars are great. I've also recently heard rumors that Genesis's new Magma kind of line of cars, they're super high performance versions, kind of like Hyundai's N. The GV60 version is going to be coming out sometime next year as well. So that's called the GV60 Magma. It's this super sick orange color, totally kitted out, super high performance, nothing I would ever consider getting. But it looks pretty promising if you're into high-performance sports cars. The electrified GV70 and G80 are also getting some mid-cycle refreshes. I have some footage here from the LA Auto Show. So the main difference is a redesigned center console. It's got this really nice 27-inch diagonal screen that runs across the dashboard now instead of having two kind of broken up screens. But it is also going to have the larger 84 kilowatt hour battery pack, so it will have more range, which is definitely needed with this car. I really liked the electrified Genesis GV70 when I drove it, so I'm really excited to see what the refresh brings. And then the electrified G80 is one of those cars that has just kind of escaped me. Even less volume than the GV70 or GV60. That's also getting a refresh with some of the similar things from the electrified GV70. And then last, but certainly not least, is Kia. Kia has a lot on the horizon. Kia is really crushing it. So the question kind of arises, is the EV3 their smallest electric kind of EV branded car coming to the US? And we still don't really know. I've heard mixed kind of rumors. They even specified on screen at the LA Auto Show not coming to the US. Obviously that could change. But I really think that we need to get the EV3 in the United States. The Kia Niro is just very long in the tooth. It really needs to just be replaced with the EV3. The EV3 is just a much better electric car in my opinion. And it's definitely more kind of in line with their current styling. But they didn't have one at the LA Auto Show, so I still haven't been able to see it in person. It is already on sale in many markets, and it's very popular in Korea. And I'm just going to go up the line. So next, EV4. So this is a car that they've already revealed the concept of, and we have still yet to see it in full production form, but the spy shots have been out in the world. It looks like it's going to come in 2 versions. So first and foremost, it's going to be a sedan, but it's also going to come in a wagon. But assuming it does come to the United States, I really hope that they market the hell out of this thing, because the Ioniq 6 is Hyundai's electric sedan, and it has not been selling well at all. This past month, actually, the Ioniq 5 has outsold the Ioniq 6 5-1. Just crazy. So the EV5 is another one of those electric cars from Kia that they have decided not to bring to the US. It's made in China, so that might be why, but it's definitely selling in China. They just started selling it in Australia. It's just a really kind of conventional looking small crossover SUV. Very boxy looking, just like the EV9 and the EV3. If they brought this thing to the US, I honestly think it would sell better than the EV6, because it's definitely more SUV-like than the EV6, which is definitely just a hatchback. But either way, I really hope to see it in the US soon. Next up, EV6 is also getting a refresh, kind of a big refresh. I did get to see it at the LA Auto Show. It does now have a NACS port, and the NACS port now has been moved from the passenger side to the driver side. So it is in the correct spot to utilize V3 superchargers as they stand today. And Kia will be getting access to superchargers in mid-January, so it is coming really quick. The car also gets all the same updates as the Ioniq 5 with the new CCNC software. It gets the bigger 84 kilowatt hour battery pack, redesigned steering wheel, new wheels, some new paint colors, refreshed front and rear fascias, which in themselves have been a little controversial. Some people are really not fans of the new front end of the Kia EV6. I will say it's grown on me. I don't hate it as much as when I first saw it, but that seems to be the case with just about any vehicle that comes out. The more you see it, the more you end up liking it. But I am super excited for the refreshed EV6 because it's going to have that bigger battery pack. And in the rear-wheel drive big battery versions, it's going to get decent range. So stay tuned for that. The EV6 GT will also be getting a refresh where it's going to be more similar to the Ioniq 5N versus the existing EV6 GT. The charge port, oddly enough, is going to remain on the other side of the car because it is being built over in Korea still. That is not moving to the US for now. So the two cars will have different locations for their charge ports for the time being. I'm sure eventually it'll move though. So even though the EV9 is just a little over a year old, it is getting some updates in 2025. So it is going to begin being built in the United States as well. And they did say in the first 6 months of 2025, they will change over from a CCS1 to the North American Charging Standard port. So that is coming, and there will also be an EV9 GT. This is the super spicy sport version of the EV9. It's going to be really interesting to see a gigantic SUV like the EV9 tearing it up on the track. But I'm sure some people are going to buy it and they're going to take it. So I've gone through the list, and I think that's just about all the new cars from Hyundai, Kia, Genesis coming next year. There are rumors that they are working on an electric Tasman pickup truck. So we might see that next year, but I don't want to make any promises. And I really hope Hyundai is too. I mean, personally, I would love to see an electric kind of Santa Cruz style vehicle, crossover-ish with a little bit of a bed. I think that's kind of the best of both worlds. I personally don't need a half-ton pickup truck, but something small like that with a 5-foot bed would be more than enough for someone like myself. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. Here's to 2025 and my first full year as a full-time creator. I'm super excited about it. Really hoping to make some big strides in the next year. So stay tuned for more. Check out my store at ioniqguy.com for accessories for your Hyundai, Kia, or Genesis EV. My door lock modules are now available for Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, EV6, EV9, GV60, and I've got some more cars in the pipeline as well. So if you own even a gas car from Hyundai, Kia, or Genesis, stay tuned because those might become available relatively soon as well. Consider becoming a channel member if you want to see these videos before anybody else. There's 3 levels: Eco Mode, Normal Mode, and Sport Mode. Eco Mode is only 99 cents per month. Normal Mode, which is $2.99, gets you early access to all my videos as well as a discount at my store. So, Happy New Year to everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.